This is the known world explained. Genghis Khan. Part 1. The Making of a Conqueror. The year is the late 12th century. In Europe, stone castles are rising along river valleys. Kings argue over land measured in parchment and ink. In the Middle East, great cities trade knowledge, mathematics, and medicine across long-established roads. In China, dynasties rule through law, record-keeping, and fortified cities whose histories stretch back more than 1,000 years. But far from all of that, beyond borders, beyond maps, the wind never truly stops. It moves across the open land, in long, restless currents, flattening the grass one moment, lifting it the next. It carries dust, insects, and the sharp smell of animals. Sometimes it brings the scent of distant rain, sometimes only cold. There are no walls to slow it, no forests thick enough to hold it back, nothing solid enough to keep it still. This land is wide and exposed. It offers no shelter freely. It does not forgive carelessness. Here, survival is not assumed. It must be earned, again and again, every year. By the 11th century, Central Asia remains a world largely invisible to written history. Chroniclers in distant capitals know of it only through rumors, trade goods, and brief mentions in court records. There are no archives here, no stone inscriptions. Memory is carried by people, not paper. Power does not sit in buildings or laws. It moves on horseback. Families can pack their entire lives onto animals and vanish beyond the horizon within hours. Homes are built to be taken apart. Possessions are chosen for necessity, not permanence. The open country stretches for thousands of miles, from the northern edge of China far into the heart of the continent. Grass dominates everything. Trees are rare, clustered only along rivers and mountain edges. Stone is so scarce that it is reused again and again, passed down or carried from place to place. Anything that cannot move does not survive here. Autumn is for preparation, drying meat, preserving dairy, repairing clothing, and shelters. Winter is the final judge. Winter decides who lives. Families move with their animals, dismantling their homes as easily as they raise them. Their shelters, round tents made from wooden lattice frames and thick felt, are designed for speed and resilience. These designs have changed little for centuries. A child born here lives much as their ancestors did generations before. Nothing is built to last forever. Possessions are few. Every object must justify its weight. Excess is punished by distance, cold, and hunger. What cannot be carried is abandoned. Among the nomads of the eastern plains, survival is shared. Clans and tribes are bound together by blood, marriage, and mutual dependence. There are no courts to appeal to, no written contracts. Promises are remembered because forgetting them can mean death. Loyalty is personal. Authority is temporary. A leader holds power only as long as he can provide food, protection, and opportunity. The moment he fails, followers leave. No explanation is required. Pride feeds no one. Children learn to ride almost as soon as they can walk. Falling from a horse is not a failure. It is expected. Skill with a bow is not admired. It is assumed. To lack it is to become a burden. Hunting is not a ritual. It is necessity. The supply of prey is unpredictable. In good seasons, there may be deer or wild boar. In harder years, birds, marmots, otters, even rats become staples. Fish are taken only when rivers remain unfrozen long enough to allow it. Hunger is familiar. Scarcity is normal. When the day's work ends, families gather inside their tents. Fires burn low to conserve fuel. Stories are told sparingly. Silence is common. Outside, the wind presses against the felt walls, a constant reminder of how thin the barrier truly is. To people who live behind city walls, this life appears brutal and primitive. To the nomads, the cities appear suffocating. Prisons made of stone and obligation, where people trade freedom for security. Beyond the open plains lie settled civilizations that measure time differently. To the south and east, by the late 11th century, northern China is ruled by the Jin dynasty. Their authority is recorded in documents, enforced by officials, and protected by massive fortifications. Some of their cities have stood for centuries. To the west, Islamic states govern through cities, markets, and written law. Trade routes connect lands thousands of miles apart. Knowledge travels alongside goods. Caravans cross the open country, carrying silk, spices, metals, and news. They move cautiously, guarded and alert. To the nomads, these caravans represent abundance without mobility, wealth that cannot escape when danger comes. Each side watches the other. Neither fully understands how deeply the land shapes the people who live upon it. It is into this world, around the year 1162, though no one at the time records the date, that a child is born. The moment passes without ceremony. There is no official account, no written notice. On the open land, births are remembered by people, not calendars. Several months after a hard winter, the wind carries sound across the plains once more. This time, it is not the cry of animals or the snap of felt in a storm. It is the cry of childbirth. Holun, a woman taken into a loveless union, gives birth to her first son. She shields the child from the cold air, wrapping him tightly. The boy is named Temujin. He is born near the Onon River, among the Borjigin clan, respected but far from powerful. His father, Yasuge, is a minor leader, known more for personal alliances than territory or rank. At the time, no one could have known that this child would one day be remembered across continents. Like most children born here, his future appears limited to survival. Temujin's birth changes nothing. On the open plains, lineage offers opportunity, not protection. Most children will live and die without leaving any mark beyond their family. Yasuge maintains fragile alliances across the region. By this period, rivalries between clans have lasted generations. Hospitality is cautious. Poisoning is an accepted weapon. During a visit among rivals from the Tatar tribe, Yasuge accepts food. He never returns. The poisoning is quiet, efficient, final. The event is not recorded in any official chronicle. It survives only through memory, passed down, reshaped, and retold. When the news reaches Holun, the consequences unfold immediately. Allies withdraw, followers scatter, protection vanishes almost overnight. Yasuge's family is abandoned. This is not cruelty, it is calculation. A household without a leader cannot guarantee survival to others. Holun gathers her children and survives through endurance, rather than support. They hunt, they gather roots and berries. They eat what others ignore. Clothing wears thin. Winters grow harder. Temujin grows up hungry. He learns early that no one will protect him because of his name. Survival depends on awareness, discipline, and the ability to endure discomfort without complaint. Inside the family, tension grows. Food is limited. Authority is unclear. Bekta, an older half-brother, begins asserting dominance. He claims food first. He positions himself as the family's authority. In a world where scarcity is constant, hierarchy decides who eats. One morning, cold and silent, Temujin and his younger brother Kasar walk out across the grass. Sound carries far here. The land offers no cover. They find Bekta alone. There is no argument, no warning. They raise their bows. They release. Bekta falls. The act is not celebrated. It is remembered. Killing kin breaks tradition. But survival on the open land often demands choices that cannot be undone. Temujin learns that power always carries a cost, and once paid, it cannot be reclaimed. Not long after, the consequences arrive. Temujin is captured by the Taichiud, a rival clan that remembers old grievances. He is restrained with a heavy wooden collar and displayed publicly. He is not treated as a prisoner. He is treated as an example. Most captives do not survive long. Temujin watches. He studies patterns. He waits. One night, helped by a sympathetic family, he escapes. He slips into the darkness, hides in tall grass, and disappears into the open land. Force alone is not enough. Patience matters. Observation matters. By the time Temujin reaches adulthood, in the closing years of the 1100s, the open country is unstable. Old alliances are weakening. New leaders are emerging. Temujin remains quiet and watchful, slow to trust, precise in his memory of loyalty and betrayal. He values ability over birth, discipline over tradition. These traits attract followers, men excluded by aristocratic clans who cling to inherited status. Temujin forms an alliance with Jamuka, a childhood companion of noble lineage. For a time, they rise together, but their visions of leadership differ. Jamuka believes power belongs to the elite. Temujin believes it must be earned and renewed. The open country begins to fracture. Old alliances collapse. New loyalties form. Temujin gathers followers not through tradition, but through structure. Not through fear alone, but through order. The grasslands, once only a place of survival, are becoming something else, a foundation. And far to the south, beyond the horizon, cities whose histories stretch back centuries stand behind stone walls, confident in their age and strength. They do not yet know that within a single lifetime, the balance of the known world is about to shift.